はい、どうも、ほちです。本編はチャプター作ってるんで、構わずスキップしてください。今回は前回のポップとワンの何々の心理に引き続きバナナボーイさんの動画を翻訳しました。タイトルは Keep Good Mentality。メンタルの保ち方という訳を当てました。内容は見てもらえればわかるんですけど、スマブラしている時にどのような心持ちで挑めばいいかという話ですね。こういうのって心理学とか、有名どころで言えば某メンタリストの人がよく話してることだったりするんですけど、スマブラの皆様にも知ってもらえればいいかなと思って今回翻訳することにしました。ついスマブラとかやってて温まっちゃう人に向けた動画です。それではどうぞ。
Everybody who plays fighting games competitively wants to improve. When a person asks how to get better, some people will give the good advice, have a better mindset. While this advice is 100% correct, and your thought processes do entirely affect your gameplay, few people really ever talk about how to develop a good mindset for competing. A strong mentality is something that hundreds of low and mid-level players tend to lack, so why is it not discussed as much as, say, cool tech with ice climbers on Twitter? Because it's a tricky subject. Everybody struggles with different mental issues, and most smashers aren't licensed therapists. Thankfully, I'm here to help. That's not to say I can magically fix everyone's mindset, and I most certainly don't have a college degree in therapy. Even so, there are a few things that have helped me think more wisely in tournament that I can try to pass along to some of you, and hopefully it will make some of your minds not your biggest opponents anymore. This is all stuff that has worked for me, so I can't 100% guarantee it will help you. Also, I do still struggle mentally from time to time, but man has it gotten way better from my dark, constantly salty high school days. Alright, let's get into it then. Say you're at a tournament and the TO has just called everyone off their friendlies to get the bracket started. You've gotten all your nervous farts out and it's time to play round 1. You find each other, sit down, agree on a starter stage, select your characters, and it's time to play. So how do I like to think in this situation? A mindset I used to have was that I need to win round 1. Going 0-2 would be super embarrassing and I'm way better than this random anyway, so literally how could I lose? This thought process was trash for me. It made my matches so much less enjoyable as every time I got hit, it damaged my vision of what was supposed to happen. And every time I got a hit, it just made me more prideful. It's important to always acknowledge that Smash is not a consistent game. Not 64, not Melee, not Brawl, definitely not Smash 4, and no, not even Ultimate. Recognize that at any point you could get suicided by Ike, you could get aura janked by Lucario, Incineroar could happen. Don't get phased if this happens. You have 3 whole stocks in 2 to 5 games. Focus on what you need to do in a match instead of how the match is going. This, a lot of the time, is how 3-stock comebacks or reverse 3-0s happen. Sure, the winning player can get cocky and throw, but it often has to do with the strong mentality of the person who's down. So when a game isn't going your way or something happens that you're just not fond of, instead of getting tilted and wasting mental energy, take a deep breath, clear your mind, and focus on the match that's right in front of you. It doesn't matter if you got janked out, or you were stupid enough to walk into a fully charged smash attack and die at 40, or the character you're fighting is totally brainless. Don't waste your precious thinking on stupid stuff like getting mad at yourself. How many players can say they've won a match because they were mad at themselves the whole time? This mindset also allows you to play without too much pressure on your shoulders. If I know that losing is always a possibility, then it's easier to go for decisions that are more risky or creative, and possibly get a better reward off it. And of course you can still want to win, but don't let winning be the only acceptable option. Now obviously, if your fundamentals are worse than the other players, then you could easily still lose. But do know that having a bad mindset will definitely nerf your overall gameplay. I've talked about meditation on this channel briefly, but now's as good a time as ever to get into more detail. Meditating trains your brain to be focused on the present. It involves you deliberately shifting your focus from distractions to what's happening right now. I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and one point that interested me was that the only time that actually exists is the present. You will never reach the past or future. The present is all you will ever live in. Despite this, everyone is constantly so absorbed in their thoughts about the time that doesn't exist, whether it's distant or near. Does that make sense, or am I sounding like the most pretentious YouTuber on the platform? Anyway, after I found myself meditating for a few weeks, I saw just how much it could apply to Smash. Let's say I got hit by an extended extensive inkling combo and my damage skyrocketed in an instant. After the combo, instead of thinking, oh that's so stupid, he's just playing a one-player game, my character can't do that, etc., I was able to focus more on what I needed to do right afterward. How can I get out of disadvantage, or how could I play neutral are examples of much more productive thinking. It's tricky to always think productively without meditation because, for me at least, it's my natural instinct to get upset when something quote-unquote tilting happens. Honestly, I don't think it's possible for me to win against the Belmonts if I'm able to get even slightly angry. But if you're able to just accept it and move on to the next phase of a match, then you'll have a much higher chance of winning. So how do you meditate? There are lots of ways, but what I do is the most popular and one of the best forms of it. Feel free to look into other methods if the way I'm about to show you doesn't seem like your thing. So I sit in a position like this, unless my back is hurting or I can't at the moment for whatever reason. The position is really just to keep you from falling asleep. Trust me, this is boring. Now just close your eyes, breathe, and only focus on your breath. That's it. Now your thoughts are inevitably gonna wander, but just notice when this happens, don't criticize it, and draw attention back to your breath. Set a timer, I recommend 5 minutes to start. Do this every day, and you're good. The most important part for me is to not stress when my thoughts wander. It's natural and our minds have been trained for years to want to think constantly. Just take another breath, focus on the sound, how it feels, where it's coming from, all that good stuff. Don't beat yourself up over doing what you've been conditioned to do your whole life. Thinking. And there you have it. I hope this video helps some of you who are trying to compete in Smash or any fighting game really. Of course there are tons of aspects of gameplay that need to be worked on as well, but don't let any of that effort go to waste by getting enraged mid-match. It's happened to me, it still happens to me from time to time, and it just sucks. Hey, if you like this video then feel free to smash that like button and maybe even consider subscribing. I have some big plans for the channel, so stay tuned fellas.